The Kia Telluride Hybrid may be praised for its imposing appearance, spacious interior, and fuel-saving capability. But if we look past the emotional compliments, the most important question remains: do buyers actually save money, or are they just paying extra for the hybrid name? In this video, we will put the Telluride Hybrid into a clear economic equation, from fuel costs and payback period to long-term ownership value. Even more notably, I will analyze in depth the difference between a traditional geared transmission and eCVT, two seemingly similar approaches that actually create completely different driving experiences, smoothness, and efficiency. And this factor could determine whether the Telluride Hybrid is worth buying or just worth noticing. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. The previous gasoline Telluride has always been praised for being smooth and reliable. But with the hybrid version, Kia has made up for exactly what this large SUV was lacking: extremely responsive initial acceleration. Thanks to the combination of a 2.5-liter turbo engine and two electric motors, the vehicle achieves a total output of up to 329 horsepower. This power allows the car to accelerate from 0 to 100 miles per hour in approximately 6.7 seconds, a full 1 second quicker than the pure gasoline version. 1 second on paper may sound small, but in real-world driving it's a completely different story. When merging onto the highway or overtaking trucks, the usual heaviness felt in a 3-row SUV is noticeably reduced, replaced instead by a decisive and effortless surge. The great thing here is that you don't need to floor the pedal and wait for the engine to rev up before the car moves. As soon as you press the accelerator lightly, the electric motors immediately intervene to push the car forward at low speeds. As speed increases, the gasoline engine then takes over and maintains pulling power. This coordination is extremely smart because the two electric motors help mask most of the turbo lag in the initial throttle inputs. The accelerator response is linear, smooth, and free of any hesitation or waiting, even when the cabin is fully loaded with passengers and luggage. Another major plus is that Kia decided to keep the traditional 6-speed automatic transmission, 6AT, instead of following the eCVT route like many other hybrids on the market. What makes some people uncomfortable with eCVT is the engine sound staying at high RPM for quite a while whenever you press the accelerator deeply. With the geared transmission in the Telluride, the driving rhythm feels extremely natural. The car accelerates, revs rise, the transmission shifts, the engine sound softens, and then it continues pulling in the next gear. The coordination between the gasoline engine, electric motors, and transmission is very well executed. When driving gently in the city, the shifts are very smooth to keep the cabin quiet. But when overtaking is needed, the transmission quickly drops to a lower gear to unleash full power. That said, more power does not turn the Telluride Hybrid into a sporty SUV. The large body, high weight, and family-oriented, comfortable nature remain. What Kia has achieved with this version is not only making the car more fuel-efficient, but, more importantly, turning it into a much more agile and responsive vehicle relative to its size, giving the driver greater confidence and control whenever they need to step on the gas. One of the most noteworthy points about the Kia Telluride Hybrid is that Kia did not follow the common eCVT choice found in many Japanese hybrids. Instead, the vehicle uses a traditional 6-speed automatic transmission with mechanical gear ratios. This difference does not change the fuel-saving goal, but it creates a different response when the car accelerates. On the Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid, the eCVT tends to bring the engine to the appropriate RPM range and then hold it steady to maintain efficiency. This operating style delivers continuous pulling power with almost no interruption between gears. However, when the driver needs strong acceleration, the engine sound can stay at high RPM for quite a while. The sound, therefore, does not always change in sync with speed, especially in situations like merging onto the highway, climbing hills, or overtaking other vehicles. The Telluride Hybrid retains a more familiar driving rhythm. When the driver accelerates, engine RPM rises, the transmission shifts to the next gear and then settles before continuing to pull. The changes according to each gear ratio create a clearer connection between the engine sound and the vehicle's motion. Users who are accustomed to internal combustion engine vehicles will have less need to readjust their perception of the accelerator and speed. That said, a geared transmission does not automatically deliver a better experience. In a hybrid powertrain, the 6AT must coordinate with both the electric motors and the 2.5-liter turbo engine. During gear shifts, the motors need to maintain pulling power to minimize any interruption. The gasoline engine must change RPM at the right moment, and the controller must quickly decide which power source should engage. The quality of the system should therefore be evaluated in specific usage situations. When driving slowly, the shifts need to be light enough that passengers don't notice them. When overtaking is needed, the transmission must downshift promptly without creating prolonged delay. The important thing is not how clearly the driver feels each shift, but whether the car's response matches the amount of pressure applied to the accelerator. Brake pedal feel is also an aspect that should not be overlooked. In the initial deceleration phase, the electric motors switch to generator mode, creating braking force while recovering energy for the battery. When greater braking force is required, the mechanical system begins to engage. These two mechanisms operate on different principles, but the driver needs a unified response. If well calibrated, the braking force should increase progressively with pedal travel. The vehicle slows down in proportion to foot pressure without a too obvious transition point between regenerative braking and friction braking. This is an important factor when driving in the city because drivers often need to adjust speed continuously in parking lots, intersections, or heavy traffic. If the blending process is not precise enough, the response may change toward the end of pedal travel. The car initially decelerates gently using the motors, then slows more noticeably when the brake pads begin to work. The driver may then need to adjust foot pressure to stop smoothly. In a family SUV, this lack of seamlessness can affect passenger comfort, even if overall braking performance still meets requirements. Current information is not sufficient to conclude that the Telluride Hybrid's brake pedal is completely natural under all conditions. This is a detail that needs to be tested directly at various speeds, rather than evaluated only based on system architecture or technical specifications. Another moment that needs careful observation is when the gasoline engine starts to assist the electric motors. At low load, the vehicle can rely more on electric power to maintain quietness. When the driver needs additional pulling power, the 2.5-liter turbo engine will engage, and the transmission will select the appropriate gear ratio. This process is ideal when occupants in the cabin only feel the car accelerating faster. The engine's sound does not appear suddenly, the body does not jerk, and vibrations are not clearly transmitted through the steering wheel or pedals. The electric motors have the task of maintaining pulling power while the gasoline engine starts up, helping the transition between the two power sources feel more seamless. However, the 4-cylinder turbo engine will have different sound characteristics compared to the previous V6. A V6 usually delivers a thicker and more balanced engine note, especially when pulling a large body under high load. The 2.5-liter engine may become more noticeable during prolonged acceleration, even though the electric motors help reduce the burden at low speeds. Therefore, the point to consider is not whether the new configuration can recreate the V6's sound character. What is more important is how well Kia controls noise, vibration, and the timing of gasoline engine engagement. If the transmission selects appropriate gear ratios, the brake pedal has consistent response, and the power source transitions occur discreetly, the Telluride Hybrid can maintain natural driving feel despite the significantly changed powertrain structure. Stepping outside, the Kia Telluride Hybrid X-Line still stays true to the spirit of a large 3-row SUV, imposing, rugged, and not trying to look soft. The glossy black details, decisive sculpted surfaces, and sharp LED lighting help give the overall look more depth while creating the strong character that X-Line customers expect. A small but valuable feature is the auto-dimming side mirrors on both sides. This is not a detail that easily impresses in the showroom, but it shows care in real-world use. At night, the ability to reduce glare from vehicles behind helps the driver feel less eye strain and maintain stable visibility. In this segment, having auto-dimming on both side mirrors is still a noteworthy advantage. However, the Telluride Hybrid also has to accept a trade-off. Towing capacity drops by 500 pounds compared to the gasoline version, down to 4,500 pounds. This number is still sufficient for many family needs, such as towing trailers or recreational equipment, but those who frequently haul heavy loads should take note. The reason is not necessarily because the hybrid system lacks power. The electric motors can produce strong torque from low speeds, but when continuously towing heavy loads on hills or highways, heat generation increases significantly. The cooling limit forces the manufacturer to set a lower safety threshold to protect the motors, battery, and electronic components. In addition, the battery pack increases the vehicle's own weight. Since the Telluride already has to carry the added weight of the electrification system, the remaining payload for passengers, luggage, and trailers is reduced. Therefore, the 4,500-pound rating should be understood as a choice aimed at maintaining durability and stable performance, rather than a sign that the hybrid version is weaker in every situation. The compensating point lies in the mechanically linked AWD system using a drive shaft. Unlike the EAWD structure that uses an independent motor at the rear axle on some Japanese models, the Telluride transmits power directly to the rear axle through a real mechanical connection. This provides a more reliable foundation when driving on slippery roads, dirt roads, or long uphill sections. Rear axle traction is not solely dependent on a separate electric motor, battery capacity, or operating temperature. Although the Telluride Hybrid is not a dedicated off-roader, this structure still helps it maintain handling on difficult surfaces closer to a traditional SUV. Overall, the X-Line version does not only impress with black accents or eye-catching lighting. Behind the rugged appearance is a mechanical AWD system with real practical value. The reduced towing capacity of 4,500 pounds is a trade-off worth considering. But in return, the Telluride Hybrid still retains a clear SUV character rather than becoming a vehicle focused solely on fuel efficiency. If you only look at the feature list, the interior of the Kia Telluride Hybrid almost meets every expectation of a premium family SUV. The suede seats feel soft, the massage function helps reduce body fatigue after many hours of driving, while the pair of 12.3-inch screens respond quickly and create a modern control space. The 14-speaker Meridian system has even more opportunity to shine when cabin noise is only at 52.7 dsoft handles. Music doesn't need to be turned up too loud, dialogue remains clear, and conversations between rows are not drowned out by tire or wind noise. The second row even has a cleverly hidden armrest. This is not a feature that immediately wows viewers, but it is a detail that is highly appreciated after a few hours in the car. It helps passengers find a more natural resting position and makes the rear cabin feel more thoughtfully designed rather than just an extra seating area. However, the third row is where the Telluride Hybrid needs to be viewed realistically. Kia may have created enough space for an adult to sit, but the space dimensions do not fully reflect comfort. When the seat cushion sits low, relative to the floor, the knees are pushed up high and the thighs have almost no support. This tucked knee posture may be acceptable for short trips, but on long journeys, pressure builds up on the hips and knees, causing passengers to tire quickly, even if legroom is still available. Therefore, the important question is not whether adults can fit in the third row, but how long they can sit there before they start looking for a way to change position. For children or teenagers, this position is still relatively suitable. But if you frequently carry a full 7 or 8 people on long trips, thigh support needs to be taken seriously. Family experience also depends on the child seat installed in the second row. A wide base car seat, especially rear-facing ones, can significantly narrow the walkway to the rear. In that case, passengers no longer simply step through the gap between the two seats, but may have to turn their body, tilt their shoulders, or slide the front seat forward before getting in. Current documentation does not provide exact measurements in inches of the remaining walkway after installing a car seat, so we should not make up an unsubstantiated number. For family buyers, the most reliable way to check is to bring the child seat you actually use to the dealership. Install it in the correct position, and then test whether an adult can access the third row. The Telluride Hybrid has beautiful screens, massage seats, great audio, and an extremely quiet cabin. But true luxury is only proven when the whole family can easily get into the car. Children are safely arranged, and people sitting in the rear do not have to endure a cramped, knee-tucked posture throughout the journey. When the price of the tested Kia Telluride Hybrid reaches the threshold of $61,980 USD, the story is no longer just about how many features the car has or how much fuel it can save. At this price point, buyers need to look further ahead. After 5 years, how much value will the car retain, and what risks might appear when the warranty expires? According to the provided data, Telluride's 5-year residual value rate is 49.02%. That means the remaining value is only average and has not created a clear advantage over Toyota or Honda. With an initial purchase price of $61,180 USD, applying this rate directly gives an estimated value after 5 years of around $29,990 USD. In other words, depreciation could exceed $31,000 USD before factoring in interest, insurance, fuel, and maintenance. This is a number buyers need to weigh against the fuel savings from the hybrid system. The Telluride Hybrid may help reduce costs at the gas station, but those savings do not automatically erase the larger depreciation. If the goal is to own the vehicle for 3 to 5 years and then sell it, Toyota or Honda may still feel safer in terms of resale value. On the other hand, those planning to keep the vehicle long-term will face less pressure from resale value fluctuations and have more time to enjoy the fuel efficiency benefits. The extended 10-year warranty is a point that somewhat balances that concern. It provides a significant period of protection for buyers, especially since the Telluride Hybrid uses additional electric motors, a battery pack, and a more complex control system compared to the gasoline version. However, the specific terms, coverage, and limitations of the warranty need to be carefully checked in the contract, rather than just looking at the 10-year number. The most common concern is still what will happen to the 1.65 kilowatt-hour hybrid battery after the warranty expires. First, we need to put the size of this battery pack into proper perspective. This is not a large capacity battery like in pure electric vehicles, but a small pack that assists the gasoline engine and recovers energy. Therefore, buyers should not assume that all risks or costs will be similar to an EV. That said, current documentation does not provide real-world lifespan, replacement costs, or capacity degradation data, so we cannot confirm how long the battery will last after the warranty period. The reasonable approach is to check the battery condition periodically, keep a complete maintenance history, and ask the dealership for replacement cost quotes before the vehicle enters the final stage of the warranty period. Fear is easier to manage when turned into a calculable cost rather than a vague risk. Another downside comes from the color choices. The black jade green exterior brings a distinctive look, but Kia forces buyers to pair it with a dark interior. This is an unfortunate airball, because customers spending over $61,000 USD should have broader personalization options. The exterior paint creates personality, but the limited interior color matching makes the car buying experience lose some of its special feeling. The Telluride Hybrid therefore has a clear core value: many amenities, long warranty, and worthwhile fuel savings. But it is not a perfect choice in terms of resale value, nor does it completely eliminate concerns about post-warranty costs. The most suitable buyers are those with long-term usage plans, who will use the vehicle frequently, and who accept the trade-off in resale potential in exchange for comfort throughout ownership. After all, the Kia Telluride Hybrid 2027 is not just a more fuel-efficient Telluride. The 6-speed geared automatic transmission, instant electric motor assistance, and highly connected driving feel make this the most powerful, enjoyable, and well-rounded version of the Telluride to date. More importantly, the $2,700 USD difference is not a cost for a hybrid badge but an investment in performance, experience, and long-term ownership benefits. If you are hesitating between the gasoline and hybrid versions, my advice is very clear: go for the upgrade. This is money well spent to avoid regret after bringing the car home. Like and subscribe to the channel if the video was helpful to you.